My scripture reading is taken from Matthew, the 22nd chapter, the 15th through the 22nd verse. And then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and thou teachest the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, you hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? And they said unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are of God. When they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. And thus is Matthew's 22nd chapter, the 15th through the 22nd verse. Again, I say to you, good morning. I want to start by saying, first of all, for those of you that know and don't know, I don't write sermons. Spirit gives me the scripture most of the time, early mornings in meditation. And then when I read my scriptures, then I get the message. There are times also when Spirit gives me the scripture at night, and some points that they want me to touch on. And so today, I want to start with this scripture in reference to the disciples of Herod coming unto Jesus and saying, should we pay tribute unto Caesar? In this day and time, and especially in this country, we know that the monies that we deal with shows the faces of past or deceased presidents. In some countries, the rulers or the dictators, if I may say so, those that are alive, it is their images that are engraven on the monies. And in those countries, if the face of the money does not represent he who is in charge, then the money is no good. Here in this country, with the monies that we have, if it does not show dead presidents, then the money is no good. When we talk about paying tribute to Caesar, we are talking about not so much the taxes, but we're talking about the economy. And this coin that was presented to Jesus is a coin that is also presented to us. And this coin is called the economy. And whose face is on this coin? He who is in charge, the president, is the face that represents the economy. Now, as Jesus said, if it's Caesar's face that is on the coin, then give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and give unto God that which is God. When we look at our money, first of all, we mostly think about the value. And we, in a sense, make that determination not so much as looking at the number, but we have to also recognize the face that's on the front of that money. Every coin or piece of money has two sides. There's a front side and a back side. And as Jesus said to those that came unto him with the coin, the first thing he said to them, whose face is on the front? And they answered, Caesar's. And he said, give unto them, give unto Caesar those or that which is Caesar's, and unto God that which is God. He first spoke about the front side of the coin. And he secondly spoke about what is behind the coin. When we take our coins, if you take your coins and your paper money, you will find that on your coins, the front of your coins are dead presidents. But there's an inscription over top of those dead presidents that says, in God we trust. When you take your paper money and you look at the back of your paper money, there's an inscription that says, in God we trust. And so the economy, the president of the country, basically is the face on the economy. Give unto the world that which the world has asked of you, but give unto God those things that are of God, those things that belong to God. As we go forth, the coin also represents something else. It represents where we are now with all the challenges, and especially the things that have happened in the last 48 hours, some say 72. We are faced within or less than 30 days an election. This coin also represents a choice that we have to face. Whose face will we put on the front of this coin? And regardless of the face that we place on the front of this coin, we still have to know, realize, and understand that behind everything and all things is the Spirit of God. We are now faced with a concern as to what is going on or what will happen with the president of this country. And with all things that have been said, all things that have been done, all things that have been withheld, we must, those of us that are upon this spiritual path, in reference to his health and his life, we must put aside all of our political concerns. And as spiritual beings, recognize that we are responsible for uplifting those that are in need of healing. That is why we have healing books. That is why we send out healing. It is not a time for us to judge a person by his deeds or his misdeeds, but it is a time for us to uplift in consciousness those individuals, to bless them and forgive them. For when Jesus was upon the cross, and as he stood there taking his life, he said, forgive them. And so we must look out upon those that are upon us or before us that are responsible for the running and the governing of this country. And if we think that we have been wrongly misled, we must say, as the master's teacher said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Our responsibility as we walk this path is to uplift not certain individuals, but we are responsible for the upliftment of all mankind, for all are the children of God. We are in a time where we have not experienced in our lifetime. And we seek at some level of our being to know the outcome. But we must also know within our consciousness, within our spirit, that all things are in the hand of God. And so we must not be distracted. We must not allow ourselves to be pulled down, nor shall we open our minds and consciousness to all the negativity and the unbeliefs that are now permeating this country and the world. We must continue to go forth upon this path with our minds and our consciousness focused on the purpose and the responsibility that we have as spiritual beings. Going forth, radiating the light of God that is within us, and being a part of that which will bring forth light into this darkness and unity where there is division. As we move forward upon this path, we ask God to guide us and to lead us and to uplift us and keep us focused on the truth that is within us, and to bring forth this truth that we might manifest it to the world. I want to go back to the scripture wherein Jesus said unto the disciples, show me the tribute money and the image that is inscribed. You know, as we walk upon this path of spiritual growth and unfoldment, we are asking and seeking to God for God to bless us. And we're asking what it is that we need to know, what it is that we need to do to bring more abundance, more peace, more jump, and more harmony into our lives. We ask, is there an affirmation that we can take into our meditation that will help open the doors of understanding, of prosperity and success, of abundance, of peace, of happiness? When we go back and look at the small things that we have, or the smallest of the smallest, which is a penny. And if you look at that inscription on the front of the penny, the smallest coin or piece of money that we have, that says, in God we trust. If we can take this into our consciousness and declare it and to know that it is the truth of our being, we activate a principle that is within us. We activate a universal principle. We activate a principle that is in consciousness, that we trust and believe and know to be the truth. That which we have need of is already being supplied. God does not wait for us to ask. God knows our every need before we ask. But we must awaken within ourselves that faith and that trust, and that knowingness that all that we have need of is already being provided. And we must stop looking to the world for our good, because the world has no good to give us. All good that there is comes from God. All good that there is comes from God. And the good that comes to us from God can never be taken away from us. The good that comes to us from God can never be taken away from us. I'm hearing things, and sometimes, as I say, they start to talking, and it's like rapid fire. A lot of times when things are coming forth from this instrument, I'm hearing them the first time as you are hearing them. I want to say to you, in reference to all the things that have been going on, especially with this pandemic and how it has been denied and how there has been an untruth spoken about this pandemic that has taken the lives of so many people. Because you don't believe a thing does not mean It does not exist. Because you deny a thing does not mean there's no reality to it. So we have to be very careful about the things that we deny or the things that we say we don't believe. This denial has been going on for quite some time, 4 or 5 months maybe. And as we know, and as you've heard from past times, the chickens have come home to roost. The chickens have come home to roost. And with all of the protection and the defenses, they were unable to prevent the chickens from coming home. And so I say, be careful of the things that you think and put out into the ethers. Because we have no idea as to what we create and as to how we open ourselves to the things that we don't want. If you must speak, speak truth. If you cannot speak truth, then remain silent. Regardless of what's going on and how it's going on, we still want to bless our brothers and sisters. At what level of consciousness they are still the children of God. That's something that we cannot deny. It's something that we should not forget. Regardless of what is manifesting and demonstrating in and through an individual or individuals, we must know that at the very core of their being, there is that divine spark of God. And for us that are on this path with a measure of understanding and enlightenment, it becomes our responsibility to uplift those that walk in darkness. For those who cannot see the light, for those that have no understanding of the higher things of life, we are here to uplift, to guide, and to heal. There might be many that will not accept the things that come forth from our mouths. But when we sit in meditation and send out the healings and the blessings into the world, to everything that has breath and life, it cannot be rejected, because we are speaking, we are sending forth those truths, the light of God, to the very essence of their being, to their souls. And we must not be concerned as to whether it's working or not, as to whether they are receiving it or not. We must know. Do our work and let it go. Do our work, get out of the way, and let the manifestation of God take place. As I say, we are in a challenging times. And we cannot afford to lose our peace. We cannot afford, as he said, to lose our grace. We cannot afford to be caught up in the things of the world. The master teacher said, be in the world, but not of the world. Do not be of the mindset of the world. Do your very best not to look out at the world and see all of the negativity and the darkness, but to know that there is the vision, and our responsibility is to work to bring forth unity. Our responsibility is to show forth the light of God that is within us. Our responsibility is to bless all of life. And we want to bless as God has blessed us. We want to stay committed to this path. For some, it is the path that we have chosen. For others, it is the path that God has placed us upon. Whether it's a path that you have chosen or one that you have been called forth, go forth with commitment. Go forth with dedication. Go forth with love and compassion. And seek not the rewards of the world, but seek that which only God can give you. For it is God that is the life and the source of all that we have, all that we are, and all that we shall be. God bless you and thank you.